At 16, everyone is teleported into a mysterious room with a table full of food. The rule is simple: whatever you eat determines your superpower. Most pick fruit or fine cuisine. You, for some reason, bite the table. I'd heard the stories all my life. Everyone had. On your 16th birthday, at exactly midnight, you're teleported to the feast room. There, a magnificent table stretches before you, laden with every imaginable food: fruits that grant speed, meats that give strength, pastries that bestow flight or invisibility. You get one bite. One choice. One power for life. Some kids spent years researching, planning their selection with scientific precision. Others followed family traditions, choosing what their parents chose before them. The richest families hired consultants to optimize their children's selections. Me? I'd never decided. Analysis paralysis, my mom called it. So when the clock struck midnight on my birthday and reality dissolved around me, I found myself standing in the legendary room, completely unprepared. The table was more spectacular than I'd imagined. Gleaming fruits in impossible colors. Steaming dishes that smelled of spices I couldn't name. Desserts that seemed to shimmer with barely contained magic. "You have 3 minutes," announced a disembodied voice. "Choose wisely." Panic set in immediately. 3 minutes? The stories never mentioned a time limit. I frantically tried to remember the most reliable foods. Apples for healing. Salmon for water breathing. Dragon fruit for fire breathing, obviously. But what did I want? What power would define the rest of my life? 2 minutes. Other 16-year-olds materialized around me, today's birthday cohort. Most moved with purpose, heading straight for specific foods. A girl in designer clothes delicately bit into a golden pear. A boy in a Letterman jacket tore into a rare steak. 1 minute. My heart raced. I couldn't decide. Every option seemed simultaneously perfect and terrible. What if I chose wrong? What if I ended up with a useless power like can make plants grow slightly faster or knows when milk is about to expire? 30 seconds, the voice intoned. I had to choose. Now. I lunged forward, hand outstretched toward a crystal goblet filled with something iridescent, then tripped on my untied shoelace. I fell hard, face slamming into the edge of the table. Instinctively, my teeth clamped down. On the table itself. A bolt of energy shot through me as the voice announced, "Selection complete." Horror washed over me as I was teleported back to my bedroom. I'd blown my one chance. Instead of food, I'd bitten the actual table. Would I even get a power? Or would I be one of the rare, pitied nulls who failed their selection? Mom was waiting anxiously. "What did you choose, honey?" My face burned with shame. I bit the table. Her expression cycled through confusion, shock, and then carefully controlled neutrality. "The table? Not something on it?" I tripped, I mumbled. She hugged me tightly. "It's okay. Whatever power you get, we'll figure it out together." But the next morning, I woke up with no obvious abilities. I couldn't fly or turn invisible. No super strength or telepathy. Nothing seemed different at all. Until I went downstairs for breakfast, slumped against the kitchen counter, and felt a strange sensation. Like I could sense the counters. Composition? Age? History? I pressed my hand firmly against it. Quartz composite. Manufactured 2031. Installation date, May 17, 2032. Microscopic crack developing in lower left corner. I gasped and pulled my hand away. When I touched the refrigerator, similar information flooded my mind. Stainless steel exterior. Model KG 7722. Purchased August 4, 2029. Compressor will fail in approximately 68 days. My power. I could understand objects, their makeup, history, and future, through touch. Over the next few weeks, I discovered the full extent of my abilities. I could sense structural weaknesses in anything I touched. I could tell when machines would break, when buildings might fail, when bridges needed repair. I could identify materials better than any laboratory analysis. But that wasn't all. One day, frustration got the better of me when my laptop crashed. I slapped my hand on the case and thought fiercely, "Work properly, damn it." To my astonishment, the screen flickered back to life. With practice, I learned I could manipulate objects, not dramatically, but in subtle, critical ways. I could temporarily strengthen failing structures, coax dying machines back to life, even age or restore materials with extended contact. I'd stumbled into becoming a forger, one of the rarest power classes. While my classmates were showing off their flight or super speed or weather manipulation, I was quietly understanding and reshaping the material world itself. The irony wasn't lost on me. My indecision, my literal stumble, had given me a power perfectly suited to my methodical, analytical nature. 5 years later, I'm the most sought-after structural consultant in the country. When others' flashier powers fail them, they call me. I've prevented building collapses, averted bridge failures, and extended the life of critical infrastructure just by touching it and willing it to hold. Today, I'm back at the feast room, not as a participant, but as an observer. Special dispensation granted to those studying the selection process. I watch as nervous 16-year-olds make their choices, carefully biting into foods they hope will give them the perfect power. None of them know that the true power doesn't come from what you choose, but from how you use whatever you're given. And none of them, I note with amusement, are examining the table itself. Maybe I should change that. After all, sometimes the best solutions are the ones you stumble upon.